Hi, welcome. I'm Jacqui. I am a licensed therapist and owner of Sky Therapy. I'm also a yoga instructor. So, what I wanted to do today is bring you guys a somatic flow with some healing clinical hypnosis at the end. But everything today is based on horses. And as you can see, mine are playing. So you'll see them throughout the video. I'm hoping it's a nice, beautiful distraction to your day. And I want you guys to know that you can actually do this at the barn. So you can totally do any of these positions or forms in riding pants because a lot of the riding pants we have nowadays are like leggings. So bring this video to the barn with you. And before you hop on your horse, maybe do the whole thing, maybe just do the first 10 minutes of it. But this will be so important for you to have a better ride. And then also, this is great to do after you finish riding too, just to get all your muscles loose and worked out. And then if you're one who gets sore after riding, this will reduce the soreness a little bit. So I put together this flow for equestrians, but of course, anybody can do it. So just finding yourself kind of grounded in your environment right now. If you're practicing inside or outside, today in Arizona, we love the weather. It's winter time. So just kind of flow back and forth, just loosening your spine, breathing in the air, whether you're inside or whether you're at the barn. And you can just smell the horses or maybe the hay, just feeling into your body, maybe reaching up in the air. Now, I've been, gosh, an equestrian, I think, since I was about 5 or 6. And then I finally bought my own personal horse with my own money at 21. His name was Icarus. So I did create a model called the Icarus model, and that's what it's named after my horse. Rolling your shoulders back, just up by your ears, and then back one more time. I've been doing dressage most of my life. I had a small stint in hunter jumper. So this is designed for pretty much anybody who rides, but I know I put in a lot of my tight areas from the two events that I do. And then I want you guys to draw your hips back and come down. Just float your hands down to the ground, adding those knees to the ground too. Coming into tabletop, you're going to leave your hips over your knees, but you're just going to walk your hands forward into puppy pose or melting heart. So you have your forehead on the ground, maybe even your chin on the ground, and you're just opening up that back and those shoulders. Our shoulders get so tense when we ride. So it's imperative to just let them release and be heavy. Just noticing your breath here, noticing it where it flows into, how you're breathing. Maybe you're excited for your ride, or you're excited you had an amazing ride today. And on the exhale, coming up to table, so your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. You can tuck your toes or leave them flat, but I want you to just intuitively move. So you move your body whatever way it chooses. Maybe hip circles, maybe rolling the shoulders. Let's just open up everything that's stiff, just like little breeze over here, rolling in the grass, doing it right with us. Mm. And if you'd like to, you can point your fingers towards your knees to get a little bit of a wrist stretch. We all know how important it is to have nice, flexible arms when riding, nice quiet elbows, and maybe even push your hips back to get more of a stretch here. Moving the breath to horse breathing. So we're breathing in and out of our nose, just like the beautiful horses behind me. Really feeling into our body, feeling out the clicks and the ticks. Coming back to regular table, so our hands are facing forward. We're going to do what's called bird dog. So you are going to lift your left arm up in line with your shoulder, and you're just going to pop out your right leg. So making sure your back is nice and flat and strong. Bring your belly button in, up, and back to engage those abs. And exhaling down. Inhaling your right arm up, left leg up, nice and straight, almost as if you're reaching and forward in front of you and you're kicking that leg back, just kind of doing a nice stretch. Exhaling back down, inhaling left arm up, right leg up, belly button in, up, and back. Exhaling down. And then once more on the other side, right hand goes up, left leg goes back, tightening up. And exhaling everything down to the ground. Taking a nice deep breath and letting it all come out. As we go down to our left hip and come onto our back, inch by inch, letting us go down, letting the ground soothe us, tick-tocking your knees back and forth, drawing your shoulders down with the help of the mat, maybe laying your arms out, your sides, palms facing up. Bring our left ankle atop our right knee. And then we're going to reach in through that leg if you'd like. I invite you to just hug that right knee into you or experiment. See where you feel the best. Do you feel the best here? Do you feel the best here? Whatever your body needs, maybe add in some movement. But please keep in mind, it's so important to go with your body and not make the forms that I make on the video. Everybody's body is beautiful and different, and everybody's doing wonderfully so far in this flow. As you breathe nicely here, exhaling the right foot back to the floor, we're going to tick-tock our knees just like this. You're tick-tocking in this laying down pigeon form to the right and tick-tocking to the left, flowing with your breath, doing these nice little floaty movements, kind of twisting and massaging your spine, getting it ready to follow the horse. It's so important. We're not stiff riders. We're nice and strong on our equine partners. Now bringing that left leg down to meet the earth again and putting your right leg atop your left knee for that pigeon on this side. You can stay here in the figure four, or you can reach through and give your left knee a nice hug and squeeze. And we can tell ourselves, I am balanced. I am balanced on my horse. I am balanced in life. It's so important to find your balance and work and focus on that balance. It's so healing to have balance and you're not overwhelmed. Breathing in and out, really getting into your belly with those breaths and releasing them really long exhales through your nose. Now, if you don't like this horse breathing pattern in and out through our nose, you can always use your mouth. Breathe in whatever way makes you feel comfortable. Releasing our left leg to the ground. Bring our arms out, tick-tocking our legs back and forth in this figure four shape still. Or can you let go of even more? Are you tensing your jaw? Are you tensing your eyes? They can be peacefully opened or peacefully closed. There's no right or wrong in this practice at all. Even if you just want to tick-tock your knees and not have one of your legs propped up, that is completely fine as well. Melting your foot to the ground and bringing both knees in, just hugging them, giving yourself this self love, self hug, and then clasping your hands underneath your knees, taking your knees wide, and you're just going to rock back and forth, massaging our hip flexors, which need to be very flexible when we ride, and we store a lot of equine injuries here. And if any of you are equestrians who've had a bad fall or somebody who's has a little bit of that trauma still stuck in you, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. We do clinical hypnosis, somatic experiencing, all kinds of techniques to help people release some of their traumas, riding injuries, riding accidents, really simple activities. And we work all over the US, of course, not as therapists. When we're working in other states, we do it on a coaching level, but you're more than welcome if you live in Arizona to come to see me in person for it. Just letting yourself absorb this healing right now. Absorb the motion as we rock ourselves up, spinning our legs behind us. So we're in that lovely tabletop to transition. As you come down on your knees, rolling your body inch by inch by inch, so your sternum and everything is touching the ground. We're going to come into a belly frog. So, what the belly frog is we're going to bring one of our legs to a 90-degree angle out. So, you're laying on your stomach, and your right knee is at a 90-degree angle, and your left hip is on the ground. Your right knee is on the ground as well. So, you're laying in this half frog pose. And you can lay right here just to open up the hip. Or if you'd like to, you can bring your hands by your chest and draw yourself up to the sky, kind of doing this half frog feel. Really, really grounding those shoulders. And then exhaling everything down. This is such a good form for equestrians because we're opening up our hips. And then as we inhale, we're coming up, we're strengthening our core and stretching our core as well so we can better balance and follow the horses. Exhaling it all down. Changing your legs. So letting go of your right leg and bringing your left knee out. Hands right by the chest if you'd like. And drawing yourself up to the sky for seal. And then just playing with this, I invite you to decide in your body what feels better. Exhaling down and just wiggling around. Intuitively, what feels good? What doesn't feel so good? I'm going to do one more inhale up to seal for me personally. And then I'm going to exhale everything down. Bringing my legs back out. And I'm going to lay my hands palms facing up to do a little bit of the lotus pose, really focusing on our core. So we're going to inhale and lift our hands and our legs off the floor. So our core is really tight and engaged with your belly button in, up, and back. Exhaling down, doing all this to help us balance on the horses so it can be easier for them to stabilize, easier for them to go up the levels, up in the movements. Inhale our arms and hands up. And then exhale them down, feeling how much stronger your lower back is, your abs. Inhaling once again. Don't forget to breathe while you're here. And then on the exhale, just come on down. We're going to do this once more. So bringing everything up, thinking about sitting on your horse, engaging your abs, doing some of the most amazing movements, just feeling like you're one with your horse. As you bring your hands under your chin, You're just going to tick-tock your knees. This is great for loosening your lower back because we have to follow the horse with our lower back. Have to make sure that we can loosen up that spine, just like when two spines align, the human on top of the horse. And I see horses as our equal, so it's really important for us to exercise because they exercise too when we lunge them, when we're riding them. It's so important to be in shape for them. And daily stretching feels amazing, and it's have really, really helped me with my quiet seat and my quiet hands on the horses. And then just releasing your legs down to the ground. And then we're going to draw ourselves up. Hips are going to be resting on our heels. And maybe you have that nice toe stretch here. You're going to press your hips back and just slowly stretch your lower back and your calves as you press your heels to the ground with your hands still in front of you. What we're doing here is we're doing a nice stretch before we go up into mountain. Taking some deep breaths as we come on up, adjusting anything that needs to be adjusted. Feet are hip width distance apart or two fists in between. And just feeling yourself on the ground, feeling how good, maybe pedaling the feet a little bit, sinking in all the work that you've done before you ride your horse or after you've ridden already today. We're going to draw our left knee up in the air and just clasp it with our hands. And then we're going to put our left leg either above our knee, below our knee, on a block, or just propped up like this. So doing tree pose, deciding how you would like to be, really drawing that left knee out. Bring your belly button in, up, and back to engage your core. And you can have your hands on your hips, hands to prayer, or hands above for tree. Letting yourself know to stare at something that's not moving. 2 breaths here. And if you fall, that's quite all right. Just like that, just position to something else. I'm recovering from some hip injuries, and my body is not quite what it's used to. Mm. And then releasing everything to the ground, paddling out your feet, taking in that air once again, hugging your right knee to your chest and deciding where you would like to place it on this side. It just can't be in the knee joint. And when you're on a big foamy pad like I am, it's a little bit harder. So if you have a hard surface to stand on, that is much easier to balance. As you see, I'm a bit wobbly, but my hips are also learning to feel good again. And that's just a normal equestrian thing. You know, we ride so much and we sometimes neglect our body. I try to be as strong as possible. I've loved adding in yoga to my daily practice. As you're up here, I want you to remind yourself of your mantra: I am balanced. Taking your last breath, bringing your knee down, and just walking out the feet. I am a balanced rider. I am balanced in my life. As we bring our feet wide, maybe toes pointing to the corner of the mats, hands on your hips, feeling everything in line as if you're riding a horse. So your ears over your shoulders, over your hips. And then you're going to reach up as if you're going over a bar in front of you. And you're just bending down, letting everything float down to the ground, grabbing your block if needed. If the ground feels far, just play with this block. I invite you to see what your body needs here. What does it need? What does it want? Maybe you walk your hands over to your left leg, stretching out some tight points in your IT band. Maybe letting your head hang heavy here. I'm just winking at my cute horses behind me. The Palomino out there is a young 5-year-old, and then my mini's only 6, and my mare in the back is 14. So I have a nice age group in my little herd. Maybe walking your hands over to the right. And on the exhale, I am balanced. Reminding yourself how important it is to be balanced. And maybe it feels good to be balanced. Maybe for some people it feels a little off, a little awkward. So you always want to go at your own pace and make sure you're not pushing yourself too fast into something, whether it's a pose or a form or a mindset. And as we walk our hands to our right, you're going to lower yourself down in a little squat with your left leg still out into the black swan. Then you're just going to flex your left leg and play with yourself here to figure out where you want the stance. Where do you want your head, your hands? Where do you get the best stretch to really release our adductors that we use so much when riding? Some people might want to be sitting in this. Some people might want to still be kneeling if that's okay for your knee. As we come back up to that wide-legged forward fold, and we press our hips down over our left heel. Bring our right foot up to the sky. So you're flexing that foot, but your leg is still on the mat. And if you'd like, you can also put a block under your hips if that feels better for you, if the floor feels far here as well. Letting this stretch just be healing. As you come on up, we're going to go over to our right side once more, and then just see how you feel here. How do you feel here versus the first time you were there? What is releasing? What are you letting go of? We store so much in our body. And as you exhale up, coming down to the left side, noticing if one side is tighter or one side feels a little bit better than the other. You can come into different variations on any side at any time, and you can always come out of any forms early if needed. Just breathing here as we grab a block to have it handy in case the yogi squat is hard. You're going to come down, toes pointing out. You're going to come down into this yogi squat. First, you're going to put a block underneath, and then you're going to see if you can do it without the block if you choose, if your body is willing to. We put our palms facing each other, pressing into one another, and then we're pressing our knees out with our elbows. So we're just making our core really strong here, engaging it, feeling really, really good in our bodies. And if you're not, adjust and make sure you can feel really good in this moment. Bringing our hands down, glancing over our right shoulder, maybe pushing your left elbow a little bit in to your left knee to get a good stretch. And then looking over your left shoulder, right elbow is into your right knee or inner thigh. Just pressing to get this nice stretch. And then coming back to center. Bring your hips down off the block as we come into child's pose. So big toes together, knees apart. Coming back onto our heels. If this is too much, you can place blocks or a pillow behind your knees. And then just drawing your forehead to the mat or to a block. Letting your body be restful. There's no need to hold in your abs here. There's no need to focus on anything, tightening. Just relax yourself with three-part breath. So breathe in, in, exhale out. In, 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 exhaling out. Once more, because things are always fun in threes. In, 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 and out. And I say things are fun in threes because I have three horses, three dogs, and I used to have three fish. So obviously I like threes. Now we're going to walk our arms over to the left, getting a right side body stretch. Feeling the energy open up and flow through your right side body. And this is just an invitation. If you liked the regular child's pose, you can go back to that. These are always just options to see what your body chooses, because your body is the wise one. Allowing it to make choices, to have a say in something. As we walk our hands over to the right, possibly, I want you to ask your body what it wants for lunch or breakfast or dinner. And you'd be surprised how many bodies would say fruit or vegetables or meat. Not a lot of them say donuts or sugar. When you truly ask them, they're going to want whole foods. And even if they want a cookie, that's okay. It's always okay. Walking your hands back up to center, just feeling the new changes you put in your lower back. Coming up to tabletop for a transition as we walk our right foot up into low lunge. So your hands are on the inside of your right foot. Your knee is over your ankle, and your back foot is laid flat. And your knee can be on a blanket if you'd like, or you can even roll your mat a little bit to be more of a cushion. And we are just relaxing our hips, drawing them, melting them to the floor. This is such a great stretch for equestrians because we need the flexibility when we mount, when we do two point, when we post, when we're just riding. Lateral movements, it's so important to have our hips nice and square and be aware of our body. Yoga teaches us to be more aware of the parts of our body, which is so important when we ride. And then you're going to let yourself just float back. So your hips are going to almost reach your heel, your left heel. And you're going to flex your right foot for this half splits. I'm glancing at my knee. I'm going to tuck my left toe because that feels better in my body. Just inviting you to play around here as you breathe in and out, filling in the beautiful weather, air, horses, as mine falls asleep right there. And then you're going to bring this right foot atop your left knee as you gently use your hands to push your hips onto the ground. I'm going to come to face you guys. And then you're going to draw your knees on top of each other and just draw your heels into your hips. So you're sitting on your seat bones, maybe removing the fleshy parts to make sure you're really grounded. Drawing those shoulders back, aligning yourself as if you'd be riding a horse, ears over shoulders over hips. And while we're here, I just want you to massage your ankles. We do a lot with our ankles in the stirrups, out of the stirrups. Just giving some love to those ankles because they need it. And our feet hold us up. Our feet do a lot for us. Our horses do a lot for us. So almost, thinking and thanking your horses before we ride them, before we interact with them. And if you'd like to, you can add a little bit of a forward fold here. Exhaling and pressing everything out of your lungs. Telling yourself, I am balanced. I am balanced. Coming back up to tabletop. So gently releasing your knees. And in tabletop, bringing out your left leg for low lunge on this side. Knee is over your ankle, relaxing your right foot down to the mat, and just letting those hips fall. Press down. Remember, you can have a block under your hands, or you can have your hands on the mat. If you're putting both hands over your knee, you can also have blocks right here as well. That's not comfortable for me. I like this stretch a little bit better. Just breathing here and seeing how this side feels. Thinking about when you're riding, do you have trouble balancing on one side? Are you better going to the right or better going to the left? Even thinking about your horse, is your horse better going to the right or the left? Sometimes that has a lot to do with your body and inconsistencies in your body. So just noting today, what side was harder, what side was a little bit more sticky for you? And then when you ride today, notice what sides were hard for your horse. Coming back to half split, putting your hands over your leg, late gazing down at your knee. Your hips are still over your knee. So you still have that right knee on the mat and you're flexing that left foot. Ah, and then drawing that left leg over your right, pressing your hip back to shoelace or cow face on this side, drawing your heels into your hips and massaging those ankles and feet. Ah, feeling how this feels in your body, grounding through those seat bones. Maybe adding that forward fold if you'd like. I am balanced. Taking those breaths, realizing that the more you breathe deeper while you're riding, the better connection you'll have with your horse if you guys can both match your breathing. In and out through your nose. We like to make our breaths 4 to 6 per minute when we're riding, if possible. Nice and slow in our parasympathetic nervous system. As we come on up, I'm going to have you grab one of your blocks. So you're going to bring your legs wide to the corners of your mat for this wide-legged forward fold sitting. So we're going to bring our block to our knee, our right knee, on whatever level setting you'd like, level 1, level 2, or level 3. And you're just going to draw on the exhale your head down to your knee, your right knee, and lay your forehead on that block at whichever level feels available for you today. Your hands will be touching your feet or in that motion, in that area. And you're just resting your forehead on this block to get this passive forward fold, stretching everything out, opening everything up from riding, even relaxing your neck, releasing any whiplash we've had from falls or incidents, and just letting go of any fears or anything we can think of that happened, just letting it release into the ground as it floats back into the earth. And we breathe in some amazing memories of riding, some amazing times where our body felt free. Maybe the first time we rode a horse ever. As you come on up and you exhale over to your left, moving that block with you. And maybe you start on a higher level setting And after a breath or two, you trade and think, I might want a little bit more. That's okay. It's okay to stay, it's okay to change. But listening to your body, letting it tell you our wisdom is so important. Just like when your body tells you not to ride, but your trainer tells you to ride. Trainers are amazing, but we have to listen to our body and make sure we are balanced. Taking two more breaths here, really letting any tension, any stress in our body go. Getting that big exhale as we rise up and come down to the center. Really feeling where you're releasing in your body, how much space you've had and you've made. As you walk your hands up, removing that block, we're going to come onto our knees. We're going to do a little toe squat so we can release our toes from riding. We're going to bring our hips onto our heels and just feeling into our toes. We're going to do some eagle arms. So you're going to bring your right arm underneath your left, binding once or twice. Your shoulders are in line with your elbows, and you're going to be glancing down. So stretching those shoulders, trying to keep those shoulders apart from one another. As you release your arms, shaking them out, doing a little boo breath. And then bring your left arm under your right and really drawing those shoulders out. Gazing down, releasing through your shoulders. And then releasing the arms, shaking them all out. Our last form we're going to do here. As you come out, you're just going to bring your hips back and your feet should automatically go into deer pose. So your left foot is right atop your right quad, and you're going to grab a block or a bolster. And in this form, you're just going to walk your hands down over your left knee. So you're just doing this deer pose forward fold to see where you need to release in your body. Maybe walking your arms a little bit more to the front to see if that feels like a better release for you. Or adjusting your form to see where you need that stretch as our last stretch of this flow. Breathing in and out. Walking yourself slowly back up. Changing your legs. So your right foot is atop your left quad. And you're just walking yourself down. I know for me, this is one of my favorite ones to do. I love this one. But I need to come a little bit more forward. Yeah, there we go. That feels really good to me. A really good release. And you can even play with the stance of your feet, seeing where it feels better for you. I am balanced, and I will be balanced in my ride today. Breathing in and out the deepest breath you've taken all day. Exhaling out anything you want to rid your body of, whether it's aches or pains or negativity. And on the exhale, coming on up. And then we are going to do a little bit of equine clinical hypnosis. So, what I want you guys to do is if you need to go ride your horse or you need to go, you can go right now. and then come back later and see if you would like to do this. So, what it is I'm going to kind of get your brain waves all in sync and all relaxed, and then we'll do a little hypnosis. And you guys will come out and go to sleep, ride your horse, start your day, whatever phase you are in of your day. Or you can just use this hypnosis as a standalone practice, but you have to do something relaxing before it. So the reason Saphira came here is because whenever I do hypnosis or meditation or anything, she's always right with me. She loves the energy, she loves the feeling. So as we lay ourselves down inch by inch, I want you to find the most comfortable pose. For me, the sun's in my eyes. So I'm gonna lay on my stomach. Find the most comfortable pose for your body, whether you have a bolster or a towel underneath your head or your neck, maybe even underneath your knees, wiggling your body to feel as comfortable as possible. Even my horses are all snoozing out there. I want you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable and imagine yourself walking into a clearing of tall grass outlined with trees and a bubbling creek. The weather is just right, and you have nowhere else to be right now. You simply stand in awe at the edge, admiring a large herd of horses. The sun is setting below the trees, making the light just perfect for your eyes. You realize they are a wild band of horses of all sizes and colors. As you breathe deeply, you glance at them and you see mustangs, or perhaps quarter horses, or perhaps grade horses, horses of a mixed breed. They start to walk around you, so you begin counting them, feeling mesmerized by their colors and hypnotic beauty as you look at them back and forth and back and forth. As we count these large, beautiful horses, when we end on number one, you will be relaxed and floaty. 10, a large draft cross lays down comfortably in front of you. 9, a palomino rears up to play with his peer as you remember playing early in life. 8, a small black horse stands with one leg cocked up peacefully, letting the calming dopamine float through the body. 7, a dapple gray horse yawns as you start to feel yourself slipping deeper into a relaxed state. 6, a mare joins and she begins to roll, letting everything go from the day. To 5, a magnificent bay stallion walks by you, eyeing you, noticing how peaceful you seem here. As we go to 4, a little filly prances by with 4 white socks, shaking all the stress off from her body. As you let the stress melt from your week. To 3, a large Gruyere mare runs by as you feel her power come over you, inspiring you. To 2, a paint horse stands and stares at you with his one piercing blue eye. And 1, a chestnut horse with a large white blaze stands there, head high, watching over the herd and you as you start to slip on the verge of sleepiness, letting your body go deeper and deeper into this relaxation and feeling as if you are floating. As you float, feeling weightless, not having any cares in this moment. You have nothing to worry about here. You are protected by this large herd as if you were one of them. Think of your horse-like shape, if you wish, and how you would merge into this herd of horses. As you align with the horses, what do they have to show you? Remain here, taking in the beauty of this enchanted place for several silent breaths. Reminding yourself you are powerful, you are beautiful, you are confident, you are creative, you have nothing to worry about. You are worthy. And finally, you are enough. You are enough. As you look around at the horses and your horse-like form, you begin to say goodbye to this special place, remembering you can come back at any time. Taking it in one last time, thinking about what the horses taught you or what revelation, if any, you had. You start to count the horses as they walk down to the creek, settling in for the night. Once you hear the number 5, you will be alert and awake. 1, a leopard Appaloosa slowly walks with the herd. 2, a sorrel with a small white snip and large ears prances to the front. 3, a pregnant bay mare stands and lets the others go ahead of her. 4, a young colt struts by, showing off his gleaming black coat. 5, a strong, chiseled stallion kicks out as he shows off, bringing you back into reality of your own stabled horses. As you open your eyes and look at the beauty and the blessings of your own environment. I'm looking at my horses, my stabled horses who have not had the, ability to run wild, and just taking in what the wild horses gave to you or the peace you felt there. I want to thank everybody for joining me today in this longer flow. And I hope everybody had a wonderful ride today, or they have wonderful rides after this. And please come to this video whenever you need it. I really want to help your body to feel better being at one with the horse. So thank you, everybody.